Fratelli, the Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast. Fratelli, the Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast.
Prova, benvenuti, buonasera, ciao everyone, ciao a tutti, ciao Mike, welcome in a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby podcast, the Italian Rugby podcast. Tonight, 3 big topics: Italy, Namibia, of course, the review of this game, Barbarians, Springboks, the review of the game, thinking about the next game. So we're gonna also try to do a little preview of the next game of the next week, which is going to be the first of the series, Castle series, summer 2025, South Africa versus Italy in Pretoria, and then under 20 with Azzurri really close to a big shift. I don't know, to history, to make history actually. That's it. But Mike, it's Monday 30th of June. It's hot and I have a beer with me tonight. No work tomorrow, so I'm enjoying my time. And of course, welcome everyone, all our supporter fans. If you write in the chat, you're a friend of me much closer than before. So think about that. Mike, come stai?
Sweating balls, Otto.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, mate.
No, I have a fan here moving around, so
yeah, I've got one as well, but yeah, just unfortunately sweating balls here, Otto. But yeah, all good, mate, all good. It's there's some interesting stuff to talk about this week, isn't there? I'm excited.
I didn't say Magic King, Jack O'King, but of course the MVP of the game between Italy and Namibia is gonna be in the contest. Today we're gonna try also to make a prediction about the game. So we put the squad, Mike team and my team together. So we're gonna discuss about that. So if you want to say something about the team that should play, wait a second, we're gonna move into that in a bit. But sweating, they were not sweating. I saw a lot of jackets in Namibia, which is nice. Completely opposite of what's happening in Italy during the Under 20 World Cup. South Africa, Australia was miserable to watch for the kids because literally it was so hot, so humid. It's Pianura Padana, man. So it's gonna be like that. But Mike, the stage is yours. Have you watched the game straight, or have you watched it later because it was on Friday? Weird timing, but
Yeah,
your 2 5 cents, 5 spiccioli, 2 spiccioli su questa partita.
Yeah, I mean, let's first of all like call it as it is. You can tell it was their first game playing together, right? That I think that's an important point. Pretty much, 50-50 between Benetton and Zivre, some other players littered around. But you can tell it's their first game together because it wasn't perfect, and that's fine. That's okay. And I want, to say that it wasn't perfect, and they still scored over 70 points. That's impressive. So, first of all, I just wanted to say, anyone that thinks that, we're going to go in and just sort of blow, that's not the case.
It's not going to help in any way because the level is going to be so different next week. So
yeah, and I want to also maybe put, like commiserations to Namibia. You can tell they're going through a transition, and that's all I'll say on that. You can tell that they're going through a transition, like you said, Otto. The expected level next week is going to be so much higher. So it's going to be hard to pull some parallels there, but a win's a win, Otto, and that's the minimum thing we wanted. We wanted one win. We wanted a decent performance, which I think overall, if you look at the overall picture, it was pretty decent, and we got a decent score. 67 points away is our highest ever win, apparently, away. So yeah, man, I'm pretty chuffed all round. What about you?
Pretty happy, and let's touch straight now the bad points of this game, so we don't think about it anymore. the injuries, Mike. Probably the worst scenario are the two injuries that they open other opportunity, but losing probably the starting prop Riccioni after a few minutes with one knock on, an injury on the penalty try for Italy, the first one of the game. It's pretty sad, and I feel it for him a lot. And on the other side, Mike, probably I'm gonna be still more angry because Leonardo Marin at 12 finally starting a game with the national team after years, we should say. The last one at 12 like this was with Crowley against Wales, that Capozzo Padovani situation.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and we lose this guy, which is the new, let's say the new phase, because it's the first game after the Brexit, right?
Yeah.
In a certain way. So those are the only two really bad situation. Come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think, like, if we're going to be nitpicky, which I do think we do, because frankly, you're a coach and we want to add to people. One thing we can't afford to do next week or next weekend is allow as many opportunities to attack in transition as we did, because the better teams will punish us. We gave a lot of cheap ball. Some of the passes didn't go to hand, and then we shoveled shit. And that's the only. If we're talking minus the
first 10
injury,
minutes, Mike. If you
first
want.
10-15 minutes. Yeah.
The first 4 entries, I guess, in the 22, opposite 22, 1 penalty try, 2 turnovers, 1 knock on. Unacceptable when you go play against the World Cup champions to leave those opportunities. You should score at least one moving the ball, not only a penalty try. In every scenario, you should be much more on the details. But yes, it happens.
Skills and again, listen, like I said, you can tell that it's a team that hasn't played together. So a couple of weeks together doesn't prepare you to play the All Blacks. That said, plenty of exciting and good stuff wasn't there? So interesting to hear your thoughts. Like, onto the good.
So on the good, we have seen a Menoncello that we never seen before playing in that way. If you think about handling, passing, not into contact, before contact, soaking defenders in and running around. That for me was a positive, because I like to watch the way they try to play the two pairs of center, Bertaccini and Menoncello, Marin and Menoncello together. I like the way they open doors to be attacked, open space, attacking the line, soaking defenders in, pull pass. And we have seen that from Menoncello. That is something unusual if we think about the style, because there's always been ankle breaks, papa breaks, actually, better. So having a player that is showing what we're asking, it's perfect. It's going to be interesting with a different defense next week. It's going to be a much more rush defense. There's not going to be, I don't remember actually, number 13 or 12, the names of the players for Namibia. I'm sorry, but I know the one from the Springboks, the Allende, Kriel. Willems, if they're gonna use him, I don't know. Other option, probably Esterusen is gonna be in the forwards. It seems like. So let's take him out of the hypothesis. Gomez Zulu 12. I mean, options are there, but we try, Mike, to play with those players behind. So we found space. We score a couple of tries, opening the space. Let's say triggering pulling the trigger to attack in the wide channel. That's well done. Actually, 3, because if you think about the offload by Dare for Trulla, the one in the Trulla in the first half, and the one deep down on the left side with Jesse, those are at least 3 situations where we attack in that way.
Yeah. You know what? You know what I was really hoping? I was hoping Adogwu was going to be given like a yard of space and a second of time, because he deserves it. He's been playing really well for both Benetton and Italy, and I always feel like when they finally get to his wing, it's always dirty ball, and I just he still manages to do stuff with it, which is great. He's a great player. Just feel a bit bad for him. I just love to see him get more opportunity on the ball with clean ball, because he's going to score lots of tries. Yeah.
Well, there is a question on YouTube. So, guys, if you are on X, we are happy that you are on X with us. But if you want, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and there we can also answer your question straight to the point. Let's go with a couple of ideas also from Phantom here. So, decent defensive performance, 0 try conceded, which is the other positive about this game, Mike. 0 tries.
Yes.
We stopped them multiple times. Lots of try, but have we managed to make a step forward from the Six Nation? Probably we should try to answer this in 2 weeks, my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early to answer. What I will say though is I think we have shown that we have more depth than potentially we previously thought at the start of the Six Nations, because again, you know, these a lot of players who play in the URC, and it's players that don't necessarily play well together, but they adapted really well to the team. They adapted really well to the conditions, and that's all you can ask for. Like I said, Namibia, with the utmost respect, I don't think that was the best Namibian side, and we're probably going to learn little from that game. But you can only play with what's in front of you, and what they did is they adapted well and they played well. So I think it's a little bit too early. Like Otto said, I think if we have 2 weeks, we have 2 big test matches, and I think we're going to learn a lot about this young team at the end of the next 2 weeks.
I'm trying to add something more to this to explain. For example, another positive point, Francesco, I think, was when in the second half, the bench, the way they enter in the field, keeping momentum in attack and everything, that was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
But we are against that team which is struggling at the moment, which is going to be completely different from a possible 7-1, 8-0, 6-2 all together, probably too. Something can happen during the game, like they show in the Barbarians game. We're talking about the Springboks, of course.
Otto, you actually make a really good point, right? We didn't see that 10 minutes of madness. We didn't see, and maybe that's because, like you said, the players that came off the bench knew their roles well. Like, tempo was high. Varney, like I said, metronomic. When we were watching it, I like the fact that he can put tempo into a game. There wasn't that 10 minutes of switch off, which, again, in the heat, potentially we might have seen, but it looked good so far.
Hey, we are usually Namibia score a try against us early in the game. It happened many times, and in those few games that we play against. But yeah, that was good. Couple of more we should have been better in attack.
Yeah, for sure.
Attack, yes. Couple of that scrum, and let's talk about the young Azzurri. Like Momoasa is one of them.
Amazing.
But give me really good. You know what I liked in the second half when we got, I think, the penalty try just before the penalty try, the last one. There is a penalty for Italy, and you see Asa saying scrum, like Willem say. I love that moment when you say that.
He's been on the pitch for 75 minutes, and his first thing is let's go. I agree. He had a fantastic debut, Otto. Fantastic. Came off, probably expected to play 20 minutes, ended up playing 73 minutes. Was busy at the defensive rucks, put his body on the line, scrummaged well, like dominant scrum the whole time. You can't. I mean, confidence-wise, that's probably that's the perfect game for him to start, and in the way it started as well. Obviously, we hope Zurich gets better, but it's one of those.
I'm gonna highlight this. Of course, we have MVP. Great fan of Giacomo Dare, Jacko King, our Jacko King. Let's talk about him, and then we have also Trulla. There is on one side MVP saying, "Don't worry, we have Magic Dare for next week." I wish everything is gonna be good. On the other side, I know what he's talking about, dear Phantom. It's about he's pointing the two mistakes, let's say turnover, because one between knock on, ball on fumble, you can only play what in front of you. I guess my thoughts on this, Phantom, is you're thinking about those two situations, but Giacomo Dare, and then so we can see the axis 10-15 that probably is gonna be the starting 10 and 15 for the next game. Trulla was also impressive. His boot will use also much more of a playmaker. So let's start with Jaco King, Giacomo Dare, the zebra, also zebras. How was his game? Man of the match for the Italian press, for the federation. I don't know who decided who was the. You know
Yeah.
who?
I don't know. I mean, listen,
The Illuminati. It's all against Phantom.
I listen, like, again, was it perfect? No. Was what, and this is the question you need to ask, was a lot of what was good and progressive within the team through him? Yes. He was.
I think it was a good communication in general in the field from him.
Right. Even defensively, he was like telling people where to go if they've made a tackle, like taking that responsibility that normally falls on a fullback. He was defensively like positioning people, helping obviously Menoncello and the centers as well. Like that, like you said, communicated effectively, was very effective in attack. I think, you know, I can see why he was given man of the match. For me, I've got to be honest, even before Trulla's third try, I thought Trulla was... I don't think he made a mistake. And if he did, it was innocuous enough for me not to remember.
And he was ready for the brawl.
Street Fighter.
Gangs of Trulla was back. For a few minutes, we saw him pretty mad when they pulled one of us on the ground, and there was a little bit of a scuffle over there. But
someone needs to make a meme of him in like Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat, like heroes.
Jacopo Trulla, the man, the legend, the gang.
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready. But yeah, to answer your question directly, Dare, I think he did a good job.
Trulla, you answer too, and I'm gonna try to give a little bit more into the what is trying to create Quesada. Also thinking about this, having a player, a strong player that attack completely in a different way. Also the defender to fix him. Because we had Brex that usually do classic Argentinian style, the way he goes down after try fake the pass and goes down. Marina and Menoncello and Bertaccini much more flat in the moment of the pass, and even when they try to attack, they are much more straight up.
Yeah, much squarer, open-bodied, right?
Yes. And then all those players were able to create in the same way opportunity, but when you see Menoncello running at you, in a space between 10 and 12, he's always going to soak up both in. So when he's able to move the ball around, it's going to be much more interesting, because Jesse Try came from the situation up, not the perfect ball, but we see him doing. That's new. The way we use a lot of those chip kick that you mentioned early during this live podcast was there too. We saw Odogu kicking inside, Jesse kicking, Trulla kicking. So we scored a couple of tries just recovering a cheap ball, which was good. So those situations are there. Where we gonna have to be even better, and we have to be better in that. Is gonna be for sure eyeball reception in attack and go get in and in defense, because it's a team, the Springboks, they love this kind of ball to create, to move away. We're gonna look at a couple of video later about this, but at the end, Mike, doesn't happen so often to score so many tries abroad. it is what it is. Commiseration for the situation that they have. They lost the coach on Tuesday when was mentioned the team. The coach left for other reason. They changed coach, so it is what it is. But we take everything. It was a good warm up. We mentioned at
Yep.
the beginning here a good warm up for this game, and good for everyone.
Yeah. We take that, don't we?
Mike, you was part of this game. Let's be honest, because I rewatched it because I did a couple of videos about the players, but the mood of this Barbarians team, no bueno, non buono, Mike.
No.
Tell me about your early 20 minutes, and then I'm going to tell you about
I watched up to 24 minutes and I was like, okay, I'm done.
the number 10, I guess, right?
Oh, where he dropped the ball. That and then obviously the not like there was just even I think it was 18 minutes when Jaminet not like when have we ever seen Jaminet knock the ball on in the goal line? Yeah, in goal area. Yeah, so little things like that. It's just the Barbarians wanted to play and South Africa wanted a test match, right? To answer all of you people who are like, oh yeah, just throw the ball about and stuff. That's what happens when you play a test team playing test rugby, and you want to throw the ball around. It doesn't work. They were so aggressive in defense. The breakdown, like, were just so dominant. To be honest with you,
Man.
I knew what was coming early, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not sure I'm going to learn much about this game.
Good shift from some players. Vincent Shituka, the Congolese born, but finally got a passport and everything. So
Back row, right?
He plays first game. Even number 7. Withdraw from the game before the game started. So
is he officially injured? Is he out of this tour?
I didn't read any news today.
No, I bet in the commentary, in the pre-match commentary, I think they said he was injured, but I don't know if he's injured out of the tournament or injured just for that game. It wasn't clear, but big loss. I mean, obviously, South Africa produced back rowers like anything, but you know, World Cup winning captain, it's always going to be a big loss.
If you want to follow somebody that talk about rugby, South Africa rugby on X is of course at rugby_AP is one of them, because I remember I'm scoring now. I want to read a couple of some good banters too, actually. Good banters, but he was talking about how it should be managed Colisi in these games in this year in general. So something connected. Jean Klein is gonna be out too. There was some issue with Jean-Luc Duprez at the beginning of the game. He went off early, but then Mike Vandenberg played really pretty good. The number 9, good box kick, one of the key of this game. Reinach, even
He's
better
always good, isn't he? Yeah.
on this. If I have to tell you, maybe a little bit shy Tlabakanye. I didn't see a lot from him in general. He suffered a couple of racks of scrums too in the second half, if I'm right. So those were situations where I said, okay. But then they put in the second half 20 plus minutes of Esteruisen. When the bomb squad came in, Esteruisen play 7.
Cool. Just to add more anxiety to the team.
It's crazy, because then they put him there, so they had out in the rest of the team. They still had Fassi, Kolbe, Kurtley Arens, Kriel. I mean, they had the hybrid. Then he never had the opportunity on the wide, but he did a lot of work. Anyway, some cleaning, fantastic. Some chop.
So do you think we'll see 7-1 again?
Here we can open a discussion about bench. What way? Hey, maybe against us they're gonna experiment the 8-0, because that 7-1 is gonna be an hide. You're gonna hide Esteruisen in the. So you can say I did it. That's why you can put in that way. I did it because he was on the list. He was as a loose forward. It wasn't a back. So you can say I did it. But on the other side, then I don't know what kind of 10-15 combo could work. Because I go Mezzulu Willems to tell 10-15, whatever worst scenario, you have a 10 and can go there, somebody can cover behind, something can change. Kriel on the wing and Kolbe on as a 15 if he goes with Arense Kolbe.
You don't think
Taking
LaRue
out Willy
might
Leroux.
also...
Fantastico, Willy Leroux.
Yeah, because again, he could, at a push, he could play 10. If he had to, he could play 10. Easy.
Sometimes he play more. So literally, this team show up a lot of this physicality, the way they attack this transition with when they kick the ball, they go, and then they're doing a couple of tricks they add to the recipe with Tony Brown that for me it's working well. Because they're finding, in the meantime, I'm trying to charge it. They're finding some spaces that usually, actually, since Tony Brown came on, I start watch more of this with them. So I'm gonna put you the situation with the 9 when he attacks. He runs just outside the 22. Usually in attack, he runs and he creates this space. Because sock inside defenders, because the forwards start coming really strong on that. Let me put it here. Here we go. Let me put the audio off. Here we go. Look at the situation. So attack and Tlabacania in this case 4 minutes in, so early in the game, a couple of situations where they did it. So this is a classic rack, nothing to say. Look the space on the outside, yes. Actually, Van Erden has been the best player for maybe with Jaminet. But look, here he starts running, soaking the first player and the Jager. Everybody suck the Jager, but they go on Tlabacania the ball. And this is good. The Jager, fantastic game.
He was brilliant. Yeah,
more than 1 year. Second situation, 3 minutes after, the same. The Jager... And look how they move around. Look the number 3 where is Tlabacania and Van den Berg again. There is ribbons calling for players, everybody around the rack. Positive approach. Look how much they stop in this situation here. The players. So run of the 9, attack of the line from them cutting inside. Exactly.
Yeah, so hitting behind the rock. This is very rugby league what they do.
Just trying to do that, yes. Look how much they short up the team, because it's always Umaga Jensen looking for player, but they take off 2 players there. 15 minutes in, they go in the same way on chat, folding around the rack. Same situation. Look how he runs Van den Berg to get the ball, and the way they run around him. Now it's more set up, but still
they have 3 carry options. Yeah. This is beautiful.
I go there, I stuck inside 2 players, and they go. So this is working. Another thing that can really hurt us, Mike, so we can go through the team, is this. Look how much poor was the defense also behind, because they completely flat. Jaminet is already up. But they kick many times behind, finding space, sending inside the wing. This is the try.
That was. Let's be honest, though, the quality of that kick was
No. Look, an all kick by Fassi. This is perfect because he put just the ball there. Okay, go, just
in
run.
Between. Yeah,
exactly. Under pressure at the end. This ball, Fassi again. Pick this ball that goes in the middle. So dirty ball.
Double block.
Yes, goes there. Boom. Another good run, because this is the pressure on Jaminet with this ball over here. So they did it again, and then they start doing other kind of kicks around, like this from Van den Berg, really good, because at the end you play with a lot of pressure from here, a line out. So kick behind down there in that spot, And then I'm going to put you the last one on a transition situation after they get the ball back, shape out of 4, and this good kick with the try scored by Arens here, but the kick behind on a situation where they collapse inside, they're short in the wide space, and this is another situation where they score. So they use a lot the kicking game, and in different ways to attack, to put more pressure, but it works. And we have to be really careful with this kind of move, because this is the way the Springboks play. It's not something, we have seen it today. No, something they keep doing repeatedly. So their pattern of play for them.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. They're also going to be, again, trying to attack in transition, like off attack. They're going to do lots of grubbers. They're probably going to kick it long in the middle. They're going to force us to turn and make decisions. And when you've got IQ like the South African players, they can hurt us. So either way, it's something that they need to be aware of. But Quesada's a good coach, and I'm sure he's probably looked at it.
What is interesting is the approach that they have, and then I stop glazing the Springboks. The way they want to bring. Do you remember with Crowley we were saying like an Italian player need 30 caps to be ready for a World Cup. If I'm right, Rassi said at least 15, from 15 up. So you see the difference of a team that needs 15, but with the Springboks, we need 30 for Italy. But still,
we blood our players a lot earlier, whereas they would probably blood them at like 23, 24. It's different.
Yes, that is a big change, because we need to find early new players.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe in a few years, if we're still producing new good players, we're gonna be in that situation where we can wait the late bloomer and everything. But for now, yes, we need it. And even Tlabakanya is not that young. The younger one, if you think maybe Ngomezulu, one of the young player, but then you go Jan-Hendrik Wessel, Grobbelar, Juan, Hugo Venter, all these players, they are a little bit more. Then other ones, they've been in the team, like Juan Horn, Frankie Horn, but they've been sent home. Maybe one cap, okay, work well, and then let's see again. Like the young player for the Western provinces, the college school sensation, Lacazza, I don't remember now the name, but anyway. So they are doing a lot of stuff, but now what other mind tricks they can do, I think. Because literally this thing about the bench is pretty fascinating, if I think, like, okay, look what they can do in which way and everything. But then the team, no matter what, no matter how, they can blow 2 players against us, but then the rest of the team is going to be so high quality. Because when you see the team, they have the Jager didn't win the last World Cup, but was there 4 years ago. There is a lot of experience in the team, no matter what. It's going
to be interesting to see Otto. Like, if they do try and experiment and stuff, I'm hoping that we just try and match their physicality. That's the only thing. Like, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like, I would love to see. We saw with Scotland, sometimes when you risk and it doesn't pay off, then these things can happen. Maybe we'll start seeing I don't know, Quagga Smith at 9 or something. I don't know who would be there 9, right?
He said Quagga can play wing, so
I mean, Quagga probably could. He probably could, but like the question is, who would then go at 9 for them, which is always going to be a technical position, right? That's the tough one.
Cheslin Kolbe, man.
At 9, you think?
It's not going to happen against us because they don't need it. They have the other ones. They have Williams, Reinach, Faf de Klerk, and Vandenberg. They brought 4.
If they go 7-1, but if they go 8-0, or like who?
7-1, they put Kolbe as a 8th player from the bench, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fake a
Tough.
6-2 with Esteruisen and Kolbe.
To be honest with you, if they're going to go 8-0, genuinely put Kobus Reinach on the wing. He's fast enough to play wing. He's good enough in the air to play wing. Like, they could do it. They could do it. Like, imagine Reinach on the wing as well. Like, because obviously the amount of interaction with the game you do on the wing is going to be far less. So he's still going to be fresh to play that in the second half. Like, they could, just to corroborate what you're saying, they could go 8-0, 8-0 on the bench split and just play crazy. It's crazy how good that team is in terms of like flexibility.
Mike, let's talk about our team, and we have some prediction for some opinions, not prediction, opinions. We are not Il Mago Merlino. Let me put this on, so we have it. We decide to put together, of course. Let's start from the beginning. Here we go. So Team Mike, Team Otto. So who's gonna start in this game? Of course, I am a little bit covering up there Cannone Lorenzo for you, but Mike, we agree on the front row, the experience of the front row there, and probably on the bench is the same, because we mentioned Di Bartolomeo, both of us. Just let's say that. So Nicodra, we are the same ideas on the front row. Fischetti,
Yeah,
Nicodra.
Spagnolo at loose. We've got Nicodra, and then we've got Hasa as well. As tight head. I assume, did you go the same with Hasa as your?
Yes. I didn't put Dimchev, but he's gonna play at least the game after. We're gonna see him. I can put my hands on the fire, la mano sul fuoco, as we say in Italy. I can do that. Like I'm sure he's gonna play at least 30 minutes. No, probably 40, but so. Fischetti, Nicodra, Ferrari, we are there. Yeah. And then we arrive to the disagreement.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
It's about system and bench ideas, Mike. It's all connected.
Yeah, right. So do you want to explain yours first?
Okay. So I'm putting Favretto because I think there's gonna be a switch in the second half. Maybe with Favretto taking the last 20 minutes of the game for Seb Negri. So you get tired both, and then for the third game you're gonna have somebody else. And of course I'm gonna have Nicolo Cannone as a bomb squad for us. So he's gonna start from the bench for me, and Favretto. It's wild, yes it is, absolutely. But I would like to see these locks, Zamboni and Favretto. That's why I put them.
Hey, listen, I love it. They're the future. Obviously, when we come on to my bench picks, I'll sort of explain why I've got Cannone. It was also more along the side of the amount he played last week. Yeah. So there's also that consideration, but I have gone a 6-2 split. Did you go 6-2 or 5-3?
I don't remember which one I picked at the end, but probably 6-2 I picked.
Okay, cool. Okay, so
it's gonna be a 7-1 Italy, Mike.
yeah. So
only bench back.
Imagine he could play. Yeah, he could play around the back right. The back line. Zuliani picks himself, I think. Although there's probably an argument you can make for. To be honest with you, I don't think there's an argument. I think Zuliani's the dead on 7 on this one for both tests potentially. And then Cannone he was just so good when he came on. He clearly has a bit of fire about him. I thought it'd be good to reward that against South Africa. So that's why I've got him to start.
I go with a player who was born in South Africa. That's my only thing. Is that Vincent knows South Africa. He play against starting with this game. Nothing more than that, Mike. But we didn't put any of us put Odiase at 8 or 6. But then we're gonna see the bench. Let's move to the backs, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Because there we have a couple of decisions a little bit different, but here we go.
Yeah. So liked the way Fusco played. No other real reason than that. I thought he box kicked well. Obviously,
Yes.
my bench, I've got Garbisino on the bench because I think Fusco deserves probably a little bit more time. We'll see how he plays, but scored well, does what he does, disruptive at the breakdown. He's going to keep those pillars really honest. He's going to tie up players, at the ruck. They're going to have to be really diligent when he's around as well, which is going to open up space elsewhere, like his little darty stuff. I think he's probably a player that they'd focus a lot on, which would benefit us, especially with Garbisi not really doing that. He doesn't really dart around the ruck as much as Fusco and maybe even Varney do. So hopefully that sort of complete different style of play is something that would benefit us in the late stage. But that's why I got Fusco now. And also defensively, he's just solid. He's probably our most solid defensive nine. So there's that.
Okay, I go with Varney because I put Fusco, the physicality, think about on the 23 players game. I'm okay if Varney is going to play 40 minutes and then a change with Fusco to change the idea in the second half for the team. Only that is the way. I don't know why, honestly, I didn't think about Garbisi for this game, but he's going to play, so. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna be okay. We need them, all of them, to play international level more games because they don't have so many caps, and the pressure is different than playing against Namibia, as we said earlier. So just for that reason, Varney, good kicking, is gonna be focused a lot. But that is another point. Is gonna be they're targeted by I don't know. He's gonna play Etzebeth. He's gonna play there because Etzebeth usually is the player that put pressure on the nine.
Yeah.
When they kick, that's why.
Yeah.
And then Jacko King, we are happy
Easy.
with that.
Yeah.
Easy. Both of us we put Jesse.
So this is an interesting one.
Oh, okay.
So
start you and then I can follow up.
Yeah, Jesse for me, I thought was one of those where he could quite easily have been looked over because he played a full match. I think Liner. When I went 6-2, I accidentally originally put Liner in, and I was like, oh, what happens if the 10 gets injured? Because obviously we don't have Marino.
I know.
Right. So I had to change it, but I would like to see Liner play. I potentially Liner could play over Jersey at 11. That might be something that we might see.
So if wasn't injury earlier during this season, if we ended up his season normally like Odogu did, for you were Lina Godogu, and I agree with you on this.
Yeah.
But I thought on the long range of the two games, Odogu, for example, for me is gonna be from the bench. Is gonna be the option from the bench with Fusco Odogu from the bench
because
for
he can
me.
play center as well.
He can play center, but even if something happened to Dare, let's go with Fusco playing situation. Bertaccini, like the cover, they can cover multiple position. And even Bertaccini can play wing if needed.
See, this is what I was about to say. Just to throw you off, I was originally going to put Menoncello on the wing, and then just bring it.
Really?
And then just bring genuinely for Jesse, then put Bertaccini and Zanon, and sorry, Bertaccini, Odogu, Liner, and then I was like, you know what, I'm no point messing around here. I'll just send you the proper one. But that could have been fun. That could have been fun anyway.
Jesse needs a chance to be helmet cap versus cap. There, we need two players ready to fight against each other. Not happening so often for Jesse to play against Barbarians, and those kind of players are the one that Jesse has to be.
There's some
strong,
interesting matchups.
strong,
isn't
great in defense. Yes, so we need him to be tested on the highest level, and this is a game that goes in that direction for his development as a player.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's good in that way. Although Gulainag, I know it's really dangerous what I did on the wing, putting Lainag there. It's really dangerous because new player just came back from injury, but I said, you know what, we need somebody that is really good under eye ball. So I put Lainag on it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well. So I'm gonna quickly read out my bench for everyone.
Hold on. Menoncello,
Trulla picks
Zanon.
himself. Is there too much to talk about Trulla? Like,
No,
he kicked well.
Tell me more about Zanon. Zanon, Menoncello. Okay. I pick Bertaccini, Menoncello because I really like the way they played. Easy.
Yeah, I assume Creel was going to start because he's going to be captain. And then Dielende. Right, so I thought Zanon just because defensively, not to say I don't believe Bertaccini would be up to it. I just don't think he's as experienced. So for me, I just wanted someone solid, and I think Zanon is just a good option. And then Menoncello against Dielende, I think that's just such a nice matchup. I just love that.
It is.
So that's really the reason. For me, it was less about the player. It was about the opposition as to why I picked our friend Zanon. That's it really. And also last time they played against the All Blacks, I thought it was a really nice pairing. That brief sort of 10-15 minutes, it just clicked. It seemed like they were doing well. Zanon obviously with a beautiful assist for Menoncello. Yeah, happy with those two options, to be honest.
Dear Josh, I'm not taking any bets on this because it's gonna happen.
He'll tear him. Mate, listen, we love Trulla, but Etzebeth will tear him into like paper. just pick him up and just tear him, literally.
Confetti for everyone.
Speaking of, it's a good transition to Trulla, though. Like, any questions? Did you have any other people in mind? Maybe Montemaori?
No.
Like, what were your thoughts?
You see, hey, Belloni didn't came from the bench.
No.
Stay there, and it's gonna happen anyway. So he's not gonna play. It's okay. It has to be just sharp. I don't understand why he didn't came in because honestly, there was
maybe an injury, maybe a niggle, maybe he was.
I was there, but anyway, I don't get because you see how the game went. Okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end. Not gonna waste.
Otto, I'm with you, 100% with you.
But in case, it's not my priority now. Mirko Belloni, the new Zebre player. Talk about Zebre. Locatelli today. It's been officially signed by Zebre. Great signing. Another good signing to increase the quality of the back row of the Zebre next season and more deep too. But yeah, Trulla Mike was good in this game. I like the way he's kicking for the territory every time from penalties. It was long boot, so I'm hoping Pani is going to be one of them coming back early.
Oh, God. I can't wait to see Pani back, to be honest. Hopefully he comes back and he's not injured and stuff yet.
Oh, yeah? Did he came in? Oh, my God. I'm going to rewatch the last minutes.
I didn't see it was
like, where was it? Man, the one thing about the game was really poor, the video quality of the game.
Yeah, it's standard definition. It's sad. I actually think the under-20 is better quality than what we saw.
It was. If we don't fucking play one game with low resolution every summer, we are not happy. Next year, we're going to go to Ecuador to play. That I know the cameraman, the way they take film the games. I mean, Come on, every time like that. But anyway, bench, Mike.
Oh, do you have the thing for the bench, or you had it?
My man. Everything is ready. Here
right,
we go.
Perfect.
Magia.
I'll put my phone away. I was ready to read him out. Perfect. So, Di Bartolomeo just deserves a spot against the best team in the world, right? Like, he just deserves that opportunity. I think we're going to learn a lot about him this game in terms of where he is in his development. Is he
the war creator?
But also, is he closer to the other two than we expect? Is he actually going to be causing Quesada a bit of a headache when it comes to the autumn internationals? Should he be starting over, one of the other two? It's just he deserves it, and that's the reason why I picked him. Basically, full stop. Spaniolo, we need decent scrummagers. Again, sort of picks himself really at loose head. Hasa, again, after last week, deserves it. And also, knocking on wood, there's no issues. He can go both sides.
And then we don't have a lot of other props left to because between the injury.
Luckily, we're playing one of the most physical teams in the world. Then, in probably what I'm guessing is going to be quite hot conditions as well. So yeah, could have been better.
My God, it's crazy. Then here we have both of us brought, let's say, locks.
Mm-hmm.
Primary props, Favoretto, Canali, Cannone. Mm-hmm. And then you brought Garbisi in and Favoretto. Where are you going to play Favoretto in case?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. So for me, Favoretto is there because obviously his flexibility, he can also play back row. You started him and you're going to move him to back row.
Yes,
for me,
that's the idea.
My plan was we need to have some contingency plans here. Favoretto can play back row. Cool. If he needs to go to back row, get Negri off, and then obviously we can potentially transition into having both locks off at some point. But for me, it's just the fact that he has that flexibility. That's why I just have him on the bench. And he had a good game last week as well. So he to be fair, right, I feel like we say this a lot. Favoretto is becoming quite a consistent player. Like, at what point do we just say, okay, he's probably one of our better options? Like, he's sort of the same we saw about Zambonin before.
Man, we're gonna say that he is one of the best when he's gonna have 1 season and a half where he's been called up and play with the national team with Italy. Then we said, okay, that level. Let's say we had a lot more of expected from Yakitsi, and then he's been really unlucky with injuries.
Yeah,
those kind of players, okay, they're good. We know they're good. Favoretto, we just need a couple of more caps to say, okay, it's really, really good. He can be a starter. I'm gonna be okay because I know him now after 1 season where he shot. You see another almost chicken wing. The first half.
Where did this pace come from as well from Favoretto? He's just grown as a player.
One step are 2 meters and 50 centimeters every step he does. You know the giraffe, how big they are.
Stepping over. Yeah, he's quality. It's good to see.
That's the point. We need 15. We need 15 caps for Favoretto to be okay. There's 7. So it's gonna end up this season, and it's gonna let us win against England next season. Ole.
Yeah. So why did you pick Canali as well? Just because of the physicality as well?
Man, Canali, I want people ready to just rack, clean up, tackle, rack. That's why I put Canali and Cannone. Favoretto for me is gonna go in the back row in the second half. But also in case he's not gonna be there and Favoretto is gonna just came out. Last week we've seen Cannone, Lorenzo, and Varney playing together. When Giuliani came off, whatever. Quando è uscito. So I think the same maybe can be an option there. Cannone 7, 8, where you want me to play, I'm ready. But if not, Favoretto can be those last 20 minutes. I want one of them, Josh. That's why I want another one, because it's gonna be a crazy situation.
I've got to be honest, I was quite undecided about the back row. I was undecided. There's so many options that I could have gone for. The reason I went for Izekor is because I genuinely think he could do a job at 7. I know, like, we're preferring him at 6, but I do think if push came to shove and there's an injury, we could have Favoretto at 6, we could have Izekor at 7. I think he'd do a good job. He's just, and also he's just one of those players that if we're looking at the season and last season, he just deserves it. He just deserves to play against like the top team. And he comes in clutch so often. How often last season did he come in clutch off the bench? You know, he loves getting on. He loves getting around the edge and just on the wide channels and like being that +1 option and scoring the try. He knows that's his X factor.
No, think those balls that Zambonin played in the wide channel really well last week.
Yeah.
Those are even more killer for another team with Idzegor.
Yeah.
Zambonin did well. Idzegor has another speed.
Different level. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that.
Like Casartelli, Mike. But let's go to Montemauri Odogu. I explained why Odogu can be a center, can be moved around. Both of our centers can play on the wing if we go with Bertaccini Menoncello. Montemauri, Mike. He usually play against the South African franchise when it's time to tour, huh?
Do you want my honest opinion? Well, like full score, you've got yourself covered. Full score could probably play 10. But what happens if, knocking on wood, it doesn't happen, but Derre gets injured first half? What do we do then? That's the question for me. That's why I had Liner first.
No, it makes sense. The risk it's
full score could probably play. He played 10 twice last season, right? Including a man of the match. Oh no, it was fullback. Ignore me.
Man, he played also center when needed a winger. So we saw him everywhere. Full score. That's why it can be. We don't have the Pajrelo in this case, right? Because it's the player more that can play 10 too. But hey.
So let's look like just again just for fun more than anything, right? Let's say who would we have at 10 then? We would have potentially full score at 9, Varney at 10. Varney at 9. Full score would have to play 10.
Full score 10
would have to be all True Life. We think he's good enough to play in that example.
Interesting. True 10. And who's gonna play 15? That's the other point, Mike. We
15,
don't have
15 full score could play 15 at push because he got man of the match. Like I'm saying, if in your team, right, if Dare gets injured, Trula could possibly play 10. Full score could play fullback. We know he can play there. Like I said, he got man of the match. I think even the previous time he did it.
I got it. For me, if I have to change, I prefer to change one player position instead of two players position where they're not placed often. So I will play Fusco 10 and I will keep Trula 15.
Trula 15.
In the position in the back as a pair of players in the pendulum, they can still play there. It's not a big issue with that.
I love that. So to answer your question, I was going to go bold and put Liner, and then I realized that I only had 110 because of Marin. And also none of our centres. If can I be honest with you? If we had called up Francois May, that's who I would have.
Oh, of course. You have 10, 12, 13, 15.
Right. We know he can play
10, but he can play that.
Yeah. We know that he's good with his hands. Like he would have been that 23 for me. He would have been that position. Easy. It would have made it easy. But for me, that's why Montemauri comes in. And listen, I think it's a good opportunity for Montemauri to show, who he is and what he's about. Because let's be honest, I think most people would put Darre in front of Montemauri. Montemauri is still a fantastic player and he has an opportunity to prove that. So hopefully that gives him the fire to go out and, work his magic.
I think all the players that will have time. Let's see if they're going to have against the BOKS. Let's see if they're going to have 40 minutes, 80 minutes, or 160 minutes. That's for me, because all the players will be taken into consideration. Dimchev, for me, can also start next game against... if I'm going to see, not Nicotera, but maybe... next week in 2 weeks, Dimchev Nicotera or Di Bartolomeo Dimchev Di Bartolomeo with Nicotera resting even as a captain, I'm okay with that. So
like I said, I love our teams, by the way. I think it's a good opportunity for those of you guys who haven't been watching the stream or listening to audio. Go to YouTube. We have a lovely graphic created by Otto. You can see what we were talking about there. But Otto, shall we quickly?
Yes, you said I love the team and I love the way this under 20. Let's talk about quickly on the under 20 because they need a to be mentioned today. Mike, I'm feeling almost we let them win this game to the All Black, which is wild. And I will tell you one little thing about the last 5 games of the between July 2024, okay, and this season after the Pacific. These are the results of New Zealand: 24 Ireland, 38 New Zealand, draw 29 against Australia, 75-21 against Argentina under 20, South Africa, New Zealand 45-48, 14-5. How we managed to let them score only to try? We give them one try.
Yeah. Otto, frankly, defensively, like I think Santa Maria is like going to be a revelation at Zebra based on like what we've seen in the short time that he's been under 20s coach. I think he's been brilliant. We've obviously seen a lot of what they can do. I also love the fact that, you know, in scrum they were fantastic, like set pieces, everything that we pride ourselves on as Italians, like they showed. And the All Blacks didn't expect it. You could tell that they didn't expect it. You know, 3 minutes in where the tight head gets knocked out, they're all hollering and going woo, woo, like loving it, like loving the fact that and they thought the game was going to go like that. And then they realised after the first scrum that they were in for a long day, and so they wanted to kick, and they wanted to make sure that they weren't in a position to give us points, because they knew at scrum, if we were getting scrums in their 40, in their 30, we're kicking for 3, and we're just chipping away.
Easily.
Tactically, they were brilliant.
One of the best things shot by the New Zealand was the kicking game, long to let us start back too many meters away from the. Then Vainuku, he was so good on the wing, the young the right winger. Man, when the first sprint he had, and then we cover on him, but man, that was so good. So Vainuku, good stuff. The 10, great stepper. But then we had a lot of opportunity to score, and we didn't take those opportunities like the team. This was the worst. We lost the prop early in the game too. But I agree, pretty bad because it wasn't good. And there we are not mentioning referee, but in general we talk about like our team in general played really well, but we had those opportunities with Fasti, maybe not the
Drago.
Man with Drago too, right? So we had opportunity to score multiple times this game.
Yeah, there was a couple of times. Like, I mean, obviously there was a 3-on-1. I don't know why we kicked it. Goes to hand, 3-on-1. One of those players. Even like little things like that, inexperience, you can say, fine, right? Like maybe over excitement because they saw the space and players want to prove themselves, but the decision making, and I'm going to be honest, the decision making at 10 for me, unfortunately, was a little bit. It was a half a second off, and that's the difference. That's the difference between scoring and not scoring at the best level. It's half a second. So we move. That said, Otto, how many superstars do we have in this team? Genuinely,
man, there are few names not to mention for what they show in this game, but a player that I cannot understand, but then he show up every time. Do cross for me, when I see him, I said, it's not gonna be that good, but it's good. Anyway, the young number 12 that we had, he gets scrapped so many balls, and now I completely forgot his name.
Casari.
Casarin
Casarin, that's it. Yeah,
from
Casarin.
Milano. Man,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that game by a youngster like him. Lovely the way
How
he
old is he?
played.
18.
18. should
He's
be.
not 18. He's not. He's one for the future. Then 3 turnovers in the first half.
Let me check one second. Riccardo Casarin.
He turned over 3 balls in the first half. I think he
2006. He's a 2006. He's 19.
He's
Fasti
19,
is the young, but then it's 2006 Amatori Milano.
Hey, he was good. He was good.
Yes.
He was very. He reminded me a little bit of. This is a ridiculous comparison. So don't. But in terms of how he was, he reminded me of like a hybrid, like 7 player, like young Dialende. Like he was getting involved at the rucks. Like his defensive timing was brilliant. Like he was getting in position well. He was getting back into the game quickly. His carries were good, but his defensive game was very good. Yeah, he was impressive, but also Apoku Gamfi was.
Yeah. No, I was thinking Casarin with the cap like that.
You have to be good if you're wearing a cap like that, eh?
Like Foxy, you know, like him the Welsh. But yeah, Opoku Gianfi, 10 kilos loss, much more mobile, much more confident with the Azzurri jersey on.
Yeah, Otto, I think we said he needed to. We mentioned it. I think 10, 15 kilos, he's going to be a weapon, and he proved it. He looked great. His energy levels were high. Higher level of game involvements. I love the fact that they use him as a carry option off the line out, like just over the top, just boom, let the boy run. I love that. They did that in the Six Nations. It was a lot more effective now because he's more mobile. Little things like that. Even the front row. To be honest with you, I genuinely think this is the best. This is the best crop of under-20s.
The balance is better in the team. That's
Right.
what you're saying. Like that famous crop from a few years ago, the Menoncello
2021.
crop.
Yeah. I think this has probably got, like, what I mean by that is, in an ideal world, right? If we were like England or if we were France, in the under-20s, you get 2 or 3 different players. You're like, okay, these 2 or 3 players can make it into national team, and you hopefully get that every year. So then when the people are 27, you've got a full 23, 23, 28 players to pick from, and then obviously you have your A, which are underneath, and so on and so forth. We have seen probably like in this I genuinely think there's probably like 4 or 5 players that could comfortably play national team in the next sort of 5-6 years, and that for me is so exciting.
No, man, Casartelli is really smart player, so powerful. It seems to be a little player if compared, but then it's only one game. But if you see also the physicality of some of our players, scrum wise, Vallesi,
Gritty back as well. Sorry,
Gritty back, yes, but no. I'm thinking Vallesi. In the second half, okay. Didn't have opportunity to show up, but on the other side, Pelliccioli, that he played this season with Petrarca, with him playing many games. You can see that level. Also, if you think about.
Sorry, who was the Franco Italia player, the one that played for France in the under-20s?
Sasha Mistrulli.
It was Mistrulli, was it? He looked good, man.
Sasha wasn't that good against us 2 years ago, last year, right? When he played for France against us, wasn't that good. So, good for them. Usually, we see a lot of emotions into Italy under-20s after a good game. So let's see if we're gonna stay consistent, because it's gonna be key anyway. And no matter if there is a relegation or stuff, no matter what, but we need to stay consistent. We play in Italy, which is great. You see how we can play speed rugby if there's no rain, like in South Africa like last year. Was crazy. And
Yeah.
we were so close to win against South Africa after winning against Argentina and Australia in the last and South Africa. We were so close to win also against them in the last year. So it was fantastic. But,
Otto, what's acceptable for you?
to play consistently with a clever identity for these under 20s.
Perfect. No position. You don't want to hold to a position. Do you think a win is
Win it's important for them more than for me actually, but I want them to play to be consistent, because you see you can play in this way. Castro next game playing the same way. Don't fall into mind games with the opposition. Just be your better self no matter what. Be active, be proactive.
I thought Benny was exceptional as well, by the way. I really like him.
That is a key, this 9 for me.
He's really good.
With timing, with body, with corpo. What does it mean? With body, with physicality.
Yeah. It's also his awareness though. Like his like timing was a really good point. Like his awareness of like where players are and stuff. He's going to be an important player for us, I think.
Mike, what do you think about Todaro with this spirit, Apollo-ish? He's Northampton Saints. Hey, is it a thing of Northampton Saints to have these young players like so confident?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's Otto. I prefer him at fullback. I said this to you, but when he was playing centre, I preferred him at fullback. That's what he's been playing at Northampton. That's what he was playing at under 18s.
No, I remember games with him.
His kicking was a little bit off, but then like he hasn't played there for ages, so it's tough. Like it's just not a skill that you just turn back on. But yeah, I like him.
We need players to be much more ready to play around him too, because he can change idea every moment. The way he love a good chip too to attack himself. He likes to attack a lot. But yeah, Todaro.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him. We saw Belloni this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him next year. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
A team without Celi, Faisal, Ragusi, that are 3 really good prospects. So really good for them. But Mike, it's gonna be a really long season in Italy. Of course, there's gonna be more game for the under 20s. Everything streaming, everything ready to be, and. Man, we play against South Africa next week.
Yeah, we do.
We are there. We're in Pretoria. Yeah, it is. So let us know what you think about the game and what is going to happen in this game. Your prediction of the team. If you're watching this tomorrow, on Tuesday, on Thursday, just text, just comments, just give us a like. Just remember that it's going to help playing against or with the algorithm. And that's it. Mike, it's been a pleasure to talk with you for more than an hour. We went long today, but it's a long summer, long season, and we didn't mention the Lions this week because he said, no, let's focus on those. Let it go there.
Do you want a quick 2 minutes on the Lions?
2 minutes of Lions by Mike.
Oh, from me? Okay, fine.
Yes.
So Lions, as good as you'd expect, playing the Western Force. Some really nice combinations that you're seeing. It was great to see Hugh Jones back. Thought he added a lot. Finn Russell, Imperious. Any questions? Gone. He's one of those players that can just pull something out of nothing. I love the fact that he decided to try and counter for, I think it was the Elliot Daly try, where he just saw something and he reacted to it. He played with mind, vision. He's got a little bit of slyness behind him, which I like. It reminds me of like a 90s Italian football. Like he's just sly. He's got that little let's go sort of thing. Yeah, straight. Like he's just very, very good. And I really love the fact that they're starting to find some balance. I think there's going to be lots of questions with regards to what the team's going to look like come test match, and I think there's going to be lots of answers next on Wednesday. So looking forward to Wednesday. Josh, actually, perfect point to watch the top 14 final. If you guys haven't watched it, amazing. It goes to extra time.
Crazy.
How the hell Jack Willis
them.
is not a Lion is beyond me. There's my 2 minutes.
That is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna end up with yes. I agree with you with Jack Willis. The Lions team against Reds is already out. Everything is out, and it's a tragedy and a disgrace. It's not gonna be a tragedy and a disgrace to give us a like. That is not a tragedy. This is a thank great idea.
I agree, Otto. Great idea. Great idea. Give us a like. Great.
Give us a like.
The best thing you'll do today.
See you guys on Monday next week. I'm probably gonna be in Rome next week. That's
all right. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna sweat.
Hopefully the weather's
Mike, on the beach in Fiumicino. It's not gonna be decent at all. But anyway, Forza Italia, Mike. Follow up with the next stream on Monday with Fratelli di Rugby. Ciao a tutti, sigla, ce ne andiamo. Outro, via. Ale.
Fratelli the Rugby.